2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. You should be getting signal from me. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Check. 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that decent or is that clipping, Dave? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. One, two, two. One, two, two, two. One, two, two, two. Check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Check. 1, 2. Gonna be check. 1, 2, 2, 2. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. 1, 2, 2, 2.
Check. 1, 2. Hey, hey, 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, hey, check. Test. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check. Hey, test. 1, 2. You want to start with 5? Test. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, hey, check. Test. Check. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Test. 1, 2. 6. Check. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Check. Test. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check. Test. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Test. Check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Check. 1. Podium. 2. Test. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Check. Test. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Check. Test. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Mic check, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. For your wireless convenience, here is the network for the press conference if you need to get on the wireless. It's called Athletics. The password. $. The @ symbol, lowercase t, lowercase h, lowercase l, the number 3, lowercase t, the number 1, lowercase c, $. Everybody got that?
1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 1, 2.
I'll tell you.
One, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Check 1, 2, 2. Yeah. 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Check 1, 2, 2. Check 1, 2. 1, 2. Check 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Two, two, check 1, 2, 2. David, you should be getting me here. 1, 2, 2, 2. Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Check 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Check 1, 2. Check. Check 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Check 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Dave, are they getting me, David? 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah. Yeah. 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 check 1 2. Hey, JK.
What's going on, Andrew? Check 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Microphone check. Testing 1 2 3. Check check 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Microphone 1. Testing 1 2. Microphone 2. Check 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Check check. Testing 1 2 3.
More? Mic check 1 2. Check 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 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Mic check 1 2. Check 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 1 2 3 4. Check 1 check 2. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Mic check 1 1 2 3 4. Check 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 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Mic check 1 2. Mr. Sharp, what's up? That looks like more than 10 pounds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wireless 1. Wireless mic 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wireless 1. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wireless mic 1. Wireless 2, wireless 2, wireless mic 2, check, check, check. Wireless 2, wireless 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wireless 2, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wireless 2. Okay. Check, check. Wireless 2, wireless 2. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Mic check. TVs, you guys getting this okay? Okay. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Table mic 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Table mic 2, check, check, check. Table mic 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mic check 1, 2. Table mic 3, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Table mic 3. Table mic 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Table mic 4, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
First President. Come on up.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Fink. I'm an Assistant Athletic Director for Media Relations here at the University of South Carolina. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's press conference. Just to give you a little rundown of how the press conference is going to go, I'll introduce our Athletics Director, Ray Tanner, who will then introduce our University President, Dr. Harris Pastides. Dr. Pastides will then introduce Coach Spurrier. Coach will have a statement and then take some questions from the media. Following that, Coach Tanner will come back up and introduce interim head coach Sean Elliott. Sean will then take some questions from the media as well. And then Coach Tanner will come back up a final time to answer any other questions that you may have for him. So without further ado, Athletics Director, University of South Carolina, Ray Tanner.
Thank you, Steve, and thank all of you for being here today. I would like to begin by apologizing to many of my friends in the media. I received numerous calls and texts last night that I was unable to answer. As is customary, I don't give a lot of information, but it is not customary that I don't acknowledge your communication. So I hope that you'll forgive me for that. Back in 2004, on November 23rd, Coach Steve Spurrier became our head football coach at this university. And he quickly asked the question, why not us? He then proceeded to answer the question with a great career. He changed our culture, our championship mentality, and became the winningest coach in the history of the program. And while his accolades and statistics are great, he's always been about more than winning games. He's always been about family first, that he's exhibited in his immediate family and in our Gamecock family. Often you would see him at Coach Staley's games, at Coach Holbrook's games, and other events. Matter of fact, when Coach Staley qualified for the Final Four, my first phone call was from Coach Spurrier. He said, you know, I'm going to be needing a ticket down there in Tampa. So I said, we got you covered. But we are honored and blessed that Coach Spurrier has been with us for this length of time and has made such an impact on this school and on our athletics department, and he's been an inspiration to us all. While he has been a great coach, he's been a great friend to all of us and a great colleague. Thank you, Coach Spurrier. Now I would like to introduce our president here at Carolina, Dr. Harris Pastides.
Thank you, Coach Tanner. It's hard to imagine, and say not so, but the end of the Steve Spurrier era of Carolina football is upon us, and I'll introduce the head ball coach in a few moments, but let me attempt, as Coach Tanner did, for just a few moments, I promise, to try to quantify what Steve Spurrier has meant to USC football, athletics, but to the entire Gamecock Nation. As Ray said, Coach Spurrier arrived here on November the 23rd, 2004, the 32nd head football coach in the university's history, at 86 and 49 at USC, the winningest coach in USC history. Overall at 228, 89, and 2, a 71.8% winning percentage. Coach Spurrier and Coach Bear Bryant have the most coaching victories at 2 different Southeastern Conference schools. 3 11-win seasons. Who can ever forget that? 33 games, but in the 2011, 12, and 13 football seasons rank among the most victories of any college football team over that period. I put out for you my 3 11-win season championship rings, all of them resulting in a major bowl victory as well as the SEC Eastern Division Championship ring that I'm so proud to bring to games with me. Over the past 10 years, Carolina ranks 24th among all major football programs in the most wins over that decade. In 2013, as you all know, we finished 4th in both major football polls, and we won the Palmetto Bowl 5 times in a row. 9 bowl appearances. At USC, Steve was named SEC Coach of the Year in 2005, his first season, and again in 2010, and he's won that honor 7 different times. Overall, 9 times Coach of the Year between the SEC and the ACC. He leads the active coaches today in the number of players picked by the NFL draft, 36 from the University of South Carolina, 104 draftees over his lifetime, and 27 active players now in the NFL. But you know, all of that doesn't tell the story. That doesn't really tell the complete story of what Coach Spurrier has meant to our university and to Gamecock Nation. He gave us our swagger, our pride, and our sandstorm enthusiasm, and that will be Coach Spurrier's legacy for his lifetime. Along with Coach Tanner, of course, we broke through that glass ceiling of success that looked to be, you could see it, but you couldn't really touch it or have it. And now Carolina fans worldwide want to have it. And that's something we're never going to lose either. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees who are here with us today and the entire Gamecock Nation, let me tell you that I asked Coach Spurrier to consider staying through the end of the season. We spoke 2 times yesterday. He had made up his mind. He'll tell you more about that in his own words. He thought that this was the right decision, not only for himself, but for the team and for the University of South Carolina. So without any further ado, our head ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. All right, thanks. Okay, first of all, I'm resigning. I'm not retiring. I'll get that part straight. I doubt if I'll ever be a head coach again, but, you know, maybe coaching a high school team or something. So don't say I've retired completely from coaching. Who knows what will come in the future. But the last several years, as I travel around the country, seeing guys and so forth, I always get asked, how much longer are you going to coach? And my answer is always the same. As long as we keep winning these bowl games, everybody's happy, we're ranked, life's pretty good, I guess I can go several more years. But if it starts going south, starts going bad, then I need to get out. You can't keep a head coach that's done it as long as I have when it's heading in the wrong direction. And really today, when I move out of the way and Sean Elliott's going to take over as the interim head coach, it sort of starts our rebuilding or building back what we had just 2 years ago. And it was only 2 years ago that we were 4th in the nation and the last of those 11-2s. And somehow or another, we've slid, and it's my fault. I'm responsible. I'm the head coach. And it's time for me to sort of get out of the way and let somebody else have a go at it. And I really believe Sean will bring some enthusiasm, energy, passion that our team will accept. And I think we'll all be proud of the way our guys play out there Saturday. I'm looking forward to watching it myself. The part about what right now, the president said, why can't you just go through the end of the year and announce this is your last year? I find that doesn't work a lot, because if the players know you're not going to be their coach after such and such a time, you just don't have the accountability, I think. And also, it gives us a chance to hire an interim head coach. Gives us a chance. Coach Tanner hired Sean, and gives him a chance to make his mark for these next 6 games. And I think the team needs to hear a new message, a new voice from another coach. And Sean's going to do that, and I think he's going to do an outstanding job. And hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully a lot of our coaches on the staff here will still be here next year. And of course, I'm pulling for Sean. But it gives us a little time to start rebuilding. Yesterday, I was sort of a recruiting liability. It's hard to recruit when your coach has done it a long time and at a certain age. The recruits want to know that guy's going to be there 5-10 years from now. And with a new coach here, I think it really is going to pick up recruiting. I really believe that. So we got a new message going, and I think our rebuilding process is in place. Just looking back here, I thank Dr. Sorensen and Mike McGee. Mike McGee basically hired me with Dr. Sorensen's approval back in '04. I think I was probably the best coach for this job 11 years ago, but I'm not today. I'm not today, and that's the cycle of coaching. Sometimes you run your course, you've had your run, and it's ready to pass it to the next guy, and that's where I am right here today. But I thank those guys. I thank Athletic Director Eric Hyman. He did a super job fundraising, getting all these facilities started, and Coach Tanner and President Pastides has finished it up. Facility-wise, we're as good as anybody in the country, and this place is ready to take off again real soon, I believe. But I do believe it's important for me to step aside and allow that building back process to take over. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm stepping aside, and I'm still going to be around town. One of the players asked Coach Tanner, tell Coach to come by practice today. And I said, I'll come by practice. I was down in the weight room working out. I'll just be the former head ball coach now, former head ball coach. But I'll be around town a lot, and I just think it's the best thing. This is the best thing for South Carolina football, for our university, to start another building process. And we got an excellent interim coach, excellent coaches, and it's their turn to have a go at it. It's their turn to see what they can do. So that's pretty simply it right there. It's time for me to move on, and time for South Carolina to start rebuilding a bit. Okay, any questions quickly? Yep. I also want to say thanks to South Carolina fans. They've received me and my family, my wife Jerry, who's the biggest reason for whatever success I've had as a coach. She's got a class today, and she's going to get her degree in psychology in December. So she didn't have time for this silly little press conference we got going on right now. All right, Dave, what you got?
Steve, when was the moment that you knew that you needed to go ahead and get up?
Pretty much Sunday morning. Actually, I went and talked to Coach Tanner Sunday afternoon. But actually, when we were 2-2, I called him up and I said, Coach, I'm going to try to get through this season, but I sense that this is about it for me. I just sense it's it. Central Florida, it was a struggle against those guys. As you know, we came in at halftime behind, and it was a struggle. And I said, I don't know if I need to continue having these kind of struggles. But we talked briefly then, and then we talked briefly this past Sunday. And when something is inevitable, I believe you do it right then. You don't wait a week. You don't wait 2 weeks. This has to happen. Let's do it. Let's do it, and let's get started in a new direction. So that's what we hope to do today.
Steve, when did you tell Dr. Pastides, Coach Tanner, that was it? Your decision was made at what time of day? And did you consider staying and doing Vandy and then leaving in the bye week?
Oh, we talked about that briefly, and I think I told Coach Tanner and the President Pastides that when something's inevitable, let's do it right now. And let's give the interim coach the opportunity right now. Got a home game against Vandy that I think if we play well, we got a good chance. And let's give the interim coach this opportunity right now today.
Coming into the season, you felt pretty good that you could get things headed back in the right direction. When did you not think that anymore, and what happened?
Just gradually, for whatever reason, our team wasn't quite as good as I thought we were going to be, and that's just the way it happened. Hopefully, with some new leadership, maybe we can become a much better team.
Steve, when you
Steve, when you told the players, I mean, what was their reaction? Were they surprised? Could they sense this was coming too?
I'm not sure. I talked to him right after practice last night and just told him, I told him there was a good chance I may be stepping down. I think that's the way I left it with them, and they assumed I was stepping down, or I wouldn't be telling them that. But yeah, they deserve to know first, so I'll let those guys know.
Steve, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment while you were here at USC?
That's a good question, Rick. I need more of those. Yeah, I can rattle off a lot of firsts that we achieved here. The president talked about a few of them. I really think the one that I really personally liked was the 18 straight home wins. 18 straight at home was a school record that was pretty special, I think. And our fans had so much to do with that. So that was, I would say that's my favorite.
Coach, in your last contract, you agreed to be an advisor to President Pastides and Athletic Director Tanner. Is that something you plan on doing now that you've...
Oh, that's something we'll talk about a little later, probably. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. This is only October. Yeah, okay. Yes, yes. Go ahead, Phil.
Steve, how close did you actually come to retiring after last season? And in retrospect, if you were thinking hard about it then, do you wish you had gone through with those plans?
No, I don't know that I wished I'd have gone through with it. We got re-energized when we won the bowl game and got in the bowl and all that. Last year was it was a little bit more difficult than this year's been, actually. But there comes a time when you just have to say, hey, what direction is our football program going? And it wasn't going the way we'd hoped, so I need to step aside. Simple as that.
It may be too early for this, you may not know yet, but are there plans for you to be honored on the field during a game at some point to give fans the opportunity to, wish you well?
Yeah, a couple of years from now, maybe. Yeah, maybe a couple of years from now, I don't know. But anyway, I just think this is the right thing to do for the university, and it's going to give Sean a chance, give our coaching staff a chance to get some fresh, new life. A lot can happen. This team can change, and I certainly hope it does. Okay.
Steve, as you stand there at the moment the decision's been made, how do you feel personally? It's been a long time since you haven't been a football coach.
Well, I feel like this day was coming. It's inevitable it's coming, and I didn't plan on going out this way. I planned on being on the shoulder pads of the team coming out of the Georgia Dome with an SEC championship, but that didn't work out. We did win a division down in the swamp. That was neat back then, but I just think it's best for everybody, especially our team, our school, is that I get out of the way now and let's start in a new direction.
But how are you doing at this moment after an iconic career? What are your personal feelings?
Well, I got up this morning, got on the treadmill a few minutes ago, so I'm doing my normal stuff right now. But I'll have something planned. Everyone's told me once you sort of give up your day job, you need to have something planned to do. So I'll have something planned to do each day. I don't know what yet, though. Yeah.
Coach, how much do you want to be involved, if at all, in the chase for your successor, trying to figure out who's...
I will have no involvement. That's not up to the former coach. I just don't believe it should be. It'll be up to president if he has a search committee, or we'll see how Sean does. That's probably the criteria right there.
Coach, you've been part of football for more than 50 years. Just to see it end like this, what's that like for you emotionally?
Well, you plan for it a little bit. Nothing goes on forever. I've gone on a lot longer than most people, so I've been blessed way beyond my wildest expectations. So it's time to take on the adventure of the next part of my life. So Jerry and I are looking forward to it. I think she's looking forward to it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she is or not. But yeah.
Just to kind of describe what you've been feeling these past few weeks, because you were always so passionate about your role. This summer, you were very passionate about.
Times change. Times change.
Was it just did you just wake up the day after the UCF game? I mean, was it just did it just hit you like a ton of bricks in terms of maybe not feeling the passion?
No, that's a gradual process. It was gradual, but obviously, halftime of that game was a little stressful. But, once you've done something for a long time that I have, and it's not going as well as you'd hope, it's time to move on. It's pretty simple. Okay.
Steve, you said right at the top that, it was a resignation, not a retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you see yourself coaching college football again in 2-3 years?
No. College football is a game of recruiting, as we all know, and that's another reason I need to move on. But no, I mean, I don't know if coaching is completely over or not. It is fun being on a team. I might be a consultant for somebody. I don't know. But I doubt if I'll be a head coach. But who knows? I doubt it. But being on a team is fun. I may miss being on a team without being the head coach. That might be fun. I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you said that you knew it was time. Do you think the players also had a sense that you were nearing the end of your run?
Yeah, a little bit, maybe a little bit. Some of them. I think it surprised some, and maybe not others. I would guess.
Steve, there were times when you challenged the USC student body to come to the games a little bit earlier, stay a little bit longer, and then there's other times when you complimented them on their support. What message do you have for the USC students going forward?
No, I'm not the head coach now, so I just say thanks to all they've done. Yeah, I don't really have a message. They did their part. The Kentucky game was as good an atmosphere as almost any we've ever had, I thought. And we messed that one up and did not win it. But the students, all the fans have been super here. Okay, let's get moving. I've had enough here. I bring up Athletic Director Coach Tanner again.
Thank you, Coach. I'm in the midst of my 4th year. I apologize, but I feel that being a former coach was very important with my relationship with Coach Spurrier. We always had great conversations and great dialogue. And as this time was approaching us, we continued to visit from time to time. And on Sunday, I felt strongly that he'd made a decision that he was going to step aside. And I conferred with Dr. Pastides, our board chair, Mr. Gene Moore, and we had some dialogue, and I continued to talk to Coach Spurrier. And then yesterday, when he told me what his plans were in visiting with his team, I did take the time to visit with him, and I said, Coach, I know you understand this, and we need to move forward. I'd like to share some conversation with you, and at that time I knew that we would need to bring one of our current coaches in a position to be the interim head coach. And so we talked about it a little bit. He made it very clear to me that I'm not going to endorse one of my coaches. That's your job. But we talked about some of his coaches, and last night, after he visited with his team, I was at his team meeting with his coaches, and then I proceeded, along with Charles Waddell, our Deputy Athletics Director, we proceeded to visit with a number of coaches until late in the evening about trying to make a decision that would be best for our student athletes and our program. Just before midnight, I had the opportunity to visit with Sky Moore, Mike Matulis, Isaiah Johnson, and Pharaoh Cooper, who were our team captains. They got over to the Rice, I guess, just before midnight, and we had a great conversation. And soon thereafter, I made the call to Sean Elliott that I'd like to ask him to be our interim head coach. He very quickly and passionately accepted, and we're excited about all the characteristics and the integrity that he brings to this program and has for a number of years. So please join me in welcoming Sean Elliott.
Thank you, President Pastides, Coach Tanner. I can tell you this time yesterday, I was not thinking I'd be standing here before you and becoming the interim head coach at the University of South Carolina. But what I can tell you today is that I'm extremely excited about the opportunity that we have here. Just want to thank Coach Spurrier. I mean, 6 years ago, he hired me, took a chance, and brought me here to Carolina. And we made some great memories. So, I just want to say thank you, Coach, for all you've done. To the University of South Carolina, the students, our players, our staff, we're moving forward. We've got one goal in mind. When we walked in this morning, I said to our staff, I said, our goal is to win this week. Win today, win tomorrow, win the next day, and beat Vanderbilt. We've got a lot of great players here, a lot of great support staff, coaches, administrators. Our team is not in shambles, as some might say. We've got a great group of energetic young men that are ready to go out there and lay it on the line. I'm not sure at this point that the change is what they needed, but the change is what they've gotten at this point. And I'm going to take my opportunity, our opportunity that we have as a coach and our other coaches, and we're going to move forward. We're going to do everything we can to make the University of South Carolina proud of this football program. We're going to work our tails off tirelessly. I can promise you that. I'm not up here to say that, we're going to guarantee wins and this is going to change. But it's a great opportunity for our staff, for our team, for our fan base, and our university as a whole to come together and rally around this team and see what happens. So with that being said, beat Vanderbilt. Any questions?
Sean, how difficult will it be to talk to the team about the game in Vanderbilt and keep their attention off of the other events this week?
It's good. It's gonna be tough, but you got to address that early. You've got to make sure they understand the goal in mind is to win. Our football team understands that winning makes them feel pretty good. They do, and they want to win badly, along with our coaches and our university. So it's important to get this behind us, move ahead, have a great practice today, and continue. It's not business as usual. This doesn't happen every day. There's going to be things we're going to have to do. We're going to have some distractions, but how we get over those distractions are going to dictate how we play on Saturday, and I think we'll do just fine.
You were at a Gamecock Club meeting this past year talking about that one day your goal was to be a head coach. Kind of how surreal is it now to have this opportunity?
Oh, to tell you the truth, I haven't even sat down and thought about it really. It's hard to say. Certainly I didn't want it to come at, in this circumstance, but I'm thrilled to death to lead the University of South Carolina, whether it's for 1 game, 6 games. I can tell you what, we're going to fight hard. This staff we've got a lot of stuff to us, and we're going to come out swinging. And I think this team will rally behind it. But as far as the feeling, ask me in a couple of days.
Coach, what kind of pressure do you feel following Coach Spurrier?
Oh. It's a little different circumstance if you were coming in as a newly hired coach, potentially after he had retired at the end of the year. But he's a great man. He's a wonderful football coach. I just want to lead, make him proud, and win a ball game for him.
Coach, with you moving now to the head role, how does that change how you guys do things on offense? Does somebody get promoted into the staff?
I'm sorry, where are you again?
Back here.
Okay.
Just who's going to call the plays? How will you structure things now that you're in the lead role?
Yes, G.A. Mangus is going to be our offensive coordinator, and he's going to be our primary play caller going forward.
Do you plan on talking to Coach, leaning on Coach, calling him at all, or is this going to be the Sean Elliott show and you're going to go ahead with kind of your vision right now?
Are you kidding me? I mean, the experience speaks for itself. I need help. Our coaches need help. Our players need help. We need suggestions from the best in the business. And though he may step away, there's going to be a phone call or two. I mean, we're all in this together. There's no expert right now. We need guidance. We're going to have great ideas, but we're going to need to bounce them off Coach. I mean, he may be stepping away, but he's not too far away.
Sean, how special is this considering you grew up in Camden, and also who have you leaned on and your mentors that you've kind of leaned on in this last couple of days?
Well, you know, being from Camden, South Carolina, and spending a lot of Saturdays here watching the Gamecocks play, it's pretty special. It's pretty special. You know, to say it was a dream of mine as a young kid, certainly it was. Playing in the backyard every other day. I used to fight them Clemson Tigers with my friends all in the backyard, doing it all over again, you know, pretending who was going to win. So it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Guys that I've leaned on, mentors that I've leaned on, you know, it's happened so quickly. To tell you the truth, I haven't had a whole lot of time to lean on anyone at this point, but there will be time to, and I'm going to have to.
Sean, you mentioned Clemson, and 7 years ago or so, they went through a similar transition with an interim coach, and it panned out pretty well for him. Do you see this as an audition opportunity for you to show Coach Tanner what you can do as a head coach and maybe position yourself to be the eventual full-time coach?
Well, I certainly didn't take this position today or last evening to throw in my hat 6 games away from, so to speak. Our staff, we're going to fight our tails off. We want to be here at the University of South Carolina. I would love to be the head coach at the University of South Carolina for many years to come. But we've got a big challenge ahead of us. We've got to go out. We've got to win ball games. We've got to recruit great players. We've got to meet them. We've got to go get them. We've got to see them. And we've got to share the energy and passion that we all have as coaches to this fan base and get them back on board. That's what we've got to do.
Coach, I was going to ask you about that. As far as recruiting, I know you got to reach out to some of the guys. Have you made phone calls, and what's the plan going forward with recruiting?
Well, you know, you've got to touch base with them through phone calls and send messages. What I told our staff this morning is when we came in, I said, we've got to play a game this Saturday. We've got to focus our energy and efforts on beating Vanderbilt, okay? We've got to get in touch with our prospects, and we've got to make comments, and we've got to tell them exactly, you know, the things that need to be said. Once we go and we play this football game, we're going to develop a plan and set forth. We've got an open date coming up next week. Our plan is already being put in motion to some degree, but we've got a lot of other things that we need to accomplish before now and Saturday and see where we can go. The open week's big. It's big for our recruiting efforts.
Sean, you said the program is not in shambles. How would you assess your talent relative to the SEC? Is it good talent, average talent, way below average talent?
I think we've got good talent. I think our talent here, I mean, you know, we've got to put a consistent game together. I mean, when you go back and reflect on our LSU game, you say a first half there, and you looked at basically 2 equal teams playing. If we'd have put 4 quarters together, who knows? Who knows? But we got a lot of hearts, and we've got a lot of great individuals that play for us, and some have got to step up. We've got to have some input and some extra efforts from some individuals on our football team and coaches, all our coaches. It's a group effort, but we can fight with anyone in the SEC.
Mr. Elliott, what has the feedback been from the coaches, and not only the coaches but the players, that you are now, the head ball coach?
Well, I asked the coaches this morning, and they all said they were with me, so to speak. And I said, well, what else are you going to say? But we've got a great staff. What else are you going to say? We've got a great staff. We're all good friends. We're all good communicators. We all have the same interest. We want the University of South Carolina to be great. We're all on board with the plan we discussed this morning and moving forward and giving everything we got to the University of South Carolina these last 6 games. The few players that I have spoken with, it's been nothing but positive feedback. There's a lot of players on this team. I can't sit here and tell you that everyone's on board. They may all be. But from what I'm understanding and hearing, I think we've got a positive energy coming.
To follow up on the about being prepared for this moment, which again is sudden, you can't anticipate it, but in terms of now adapting to a head coach, can you talk about maybe some of the attributes you have that others wouldn't, because you worked for a Hall of Famer here, and then in your previous job you worked for a Hall of Famer up there? Is that at least worth something?
I think it's worth everything. I mean, they taught me how to win, how to treat people, X's and O's. I've had an opportunity to work for Jerry Moore and now Coach Steve Spurrier, both these guys, Hall of Fame guys. It's an unbelievable feeling to know that you can gather knowledge from 2 of the best in the business. Certainly they've had a huge influence on my background and my coaching attributes, so to speak. Without a doubt, they've molded my career, so to speak.
How have the players responded to switching head coaches in the middle of the season?
Well, after I talk to them all at 3 o'clock, I'll let you know. But we've got a team meeting, by the way, and every one of those guys needs to be there at 2:55 and not a second after, so we can get this thing moving forward. But we're going to talk. We're going to talk openly, and it's going to be a great meeting. It's going to be a good meeting. It's a meeting we all need to have and get out in the open. But I think it's going to be well received.
Coach, you've always been a guy that's lost his mind in pregame with the offensive line to get those guys pumped up. Does that mentality stay the same with the team as a whole as you move forward in this interim role?
Yeah, well, I can't fight the whole team in pregame. That would hurt. But sure, I've got to be who I am. I've got to be who I am. Intensity, passion, whatever you want to call it. Motivation, I don't know. But I'll try to deliver that to each and every group on that field, see if I can relay something to those guys. But yeah, I'm going to be who I am. All right.
Sean, how are you going to balance the offensive line and your head coaching duties going forward?
That's a good question. We're going to move Travell Wharton into the offensive line position. Certainly, I will have a role in it with him as well in meeting times and other things, drills, but he's going to step in and take it.
Coach, what did your wife and your kids say when they found out that you was going to be the next coach?
Oh, God. My kids were asleep. My wife, she didn't know whether to cry or smile and vice versa. But, we were both. It was kind of bittersweet. Here we are, Coach Spurrier's retiring. I'm named interim coach. We shared some laughs, we shared some memories. But what we did share was she's going to be behind us, my kids are going to be behind us, and we're going to push forward and make this thing the best we can. And by the way, I just want to thank my wife for everything she's done.
With that, we'll let Sean go and bring back our Coach Tanner.
All right. Coach, you want to take off? I think Reese is waiting. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right. Thank you.
Before we close, are there any questions? Well done.
Thank you.
Anything? Okay.
Let's get moving.
Ray, what's your timetable in terms of the final decision-making process on the head coach?
Well, I'm not going to give you a definite timetable, but obviously this is there's a sense of urgency as we move forward. As Coach Elliott takes over as the interim head coach, he's certainly considered a candidate as we move forward, but it'll be a very extensive and national search in a timely way.
Ray, do you know the form the search is going to take? Will there be a committee? Are you a one-man search committee? How is this search going to take place?
Never liked that comment. I'm a one-man search committee, so that will not be the case. There is an advisory committee that's being formed. I'll certainly work closely with our president, Dr. Pastides, and Chairman Moore. Charles Waddell will work closely together, and we will have an advisory group, and certainly I'll consult a lot of people as we move forward. It's going to be thorough, it's important, and we're excited about where we go in the future. I'm excited today with Coach Elliott and the passion that he has for this team and the respect that he has from his coaches and his players. As I said, I visited with the captains late last night, and that was very great, very special meeting for me in my tenure. One of the things I'll remember most, and we'll move forward. We got a lot to be excited about here at this university, and there's a lot of passion and enthusiasm, and I expect us to move forward.
Ray, from a facility standpoint, everything that Steve did here, do you feel like it'll be maybe not easier, but did you have a good opportunity to go out and hire a really big-name national coach?
Well, I think it's okay to use the word easier. The impact that Coach Spurrier has made on this program, the minute he came here as a coach, he did give us a lot of credibility that maybe we were lacking. And he gave us the swagger that has been mentioned. He helped change the culture, and he won at a high level. I was a coach at the time, and I remember telling my assistant coaches, I said, men, today we got better because the brand that Coach Spurrier brought here impacted us all. And we are in a better place than we ever have been. And I had someone call me in the wee hours and tell me, you're in a great position. And I said, really? And he said, yes, you have the opportunity to attract one of the best head coaches in the country if you don't have one already. So I said, okay, thank you for the call. So I do think that what Coach Spurrier has meant to all of us has impacted us, and we'll be able to carry that forward.
Ray, this will be your first major hire since taking over as AD. How much pressure are you feeling for this?
Are you saying Coach Holbrook wasn't a major hire? Where's Coach Holbrook at? I knew that in 2012, when I became the director of athletics, there was a chance that Coach Spurrier may end his tenure before I did. So it's important that as the director of athletics, it doesn't matter what sport it is, that you're prepared and plan to go forward, and you have a staff in place that can assist, and you have contacts around the country that can help. And that has been the case. So while a lot of people think that, well, you've just had a special situation dumped on your lap, that's not the case. You know, it's an ongoing process, and whoever the next coach will be, it'll continue going after that if I'm in this position. So that's the way it works, and I think that's the way it should be.
Ray, given that we're halfway through the season, are you at all limited right now in what you can do as far as contacting people as opposed to when the season is over?
Well, I don't know if limited is the right word. I think there's some professional protocol that needs to be in place, which I will do my best to be a part of that. I know today, if Coach Elliott will allow me, I'm going to visit with the football team, and I'm going to share, some remarks with them that may be part administrator, part coach. But that's where we are. So we'll do the best we can with it, and I'm excited about where we are today. I know that under Coach Elliott's leadership, there is going to be fire and passion and intensity, and he's going to try to get these players in the right place. And I know I'm 100% confident that our players are going to rally in a big way.
Coach, two things. One, will you use any kind of search firm, professional search firm, or will you keep it in-house? And then also, could you just tell for the fans what your top priorities would be, say head coaching experience or not, SEC experience or not, anything like that you can share?
Well, I'll tell you that there will be a search firm involved. I I'm not going to limit myself to assistant coaches, head coaches, NFL, longtime college coaches, or anything. It's important that we find the best person that has the passion and the dedication to perform at a high level at a very competitive, in a very competitive conference in the Southeastern Conference, and certainly the integrity. But most importantly, you know, my roots are here. I love Columbia and the University of South Carolina. I want somebody to be like that. I want somebody that fits that role. While somebody's resume may be better, I think it's important that we hire someone with the roots that fit about who we are.
Along the lines of when you said, you know, you'd prepare this day might come, have you, to a certain extent, been evaluating current staff, not necessarily thinking on an interim basis, but also, does your now role change in these next few weeks to evaluate Sean in terms of if he's the right guy, and have you sensed that? Did you maybe do that when you were winding down as a baseball coach and evaluating Chad?
Well, you know, being in this position as an administrator, I get an opportunity to visit with a lot of our coaches, and I get a chance to go to practices and go to games, and I certainly attend my share of football practices, and that's important, and I've learned a lot from Coach Spurrier, just like his coaches have learned from him, and his experience is paramount, and the things that we talk about football and outside of football and the personnel, I think it's very important, and it's my job to evaluate all the time, and I've done that, and I'll continue to do that.
Ray, there have been talks in the past about Steve coming on board in an ambassador role. Would you be a fan of that?
I am a fan of Coach Spurrier, and whatever role is defined, I think he knows that we'll all lean on him. He may not answer the phone all the time, but we'll reach out and include him in things that we do. Like I said, since I've been in this role as a coach, we've always communicated. You know, he shared so many things with me that I never shared with anyone, and that's valuable. And we have that resource. And you know, he said he's going to be around town for a while. We hope it's a long time.
We know ADs keep a list in the pocket for just these kind of situations. Besides Sean, have you reached out to anybody on your list in some form or fashion?
No. Again, I mentioned professional protocol. So while we're constantly, as director of athletics, you're in a process that you evaluate and pay attention to what's going on, and you talk to people. But you know, I never had that drawer feel that you could open. I was afraid you'd come in and look in that drawer, so I never had that drawer. But we'll be well prepared to move forward. Thank you again. Thank you all for being here today.